culturally speaking.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about our nationality and just like culture and how that ties into going to Sam Houston.
So you've mentioned that you're Mexican American. Can you share a little bit of that with us?
Okay, so I'm Mexican American. My family's from Mexico. Both sides of my family are from Mexico. So yeah.
Okay.
So my parents, how we got to the States from Mexico. My mom was born in Texas, but both of her parents were born in Mexico. And my dad was born in Mexico in San Luis, and they came here when he was, I believe, a teenager, and then they started our family in Texas from there.
So do you know Spanish?
I'm not fluent. I know a lot, but I don't say I'm fluent because when you say you're fluent in a language, you're held to that standard, and then you only you're forced to always speak Spanish, kind of. I don't know, but tell us, you're Greek, so talk about that.
So for me, basically, my mom is born in the U.S., but my dad is born in Greece. My mom, so the way I ended up in the U.S. is my mom's parents, so my grandparents, ended up migrating from Greece years back because they believed in the American dream of opening up a whole bunch of restaurants, which is why a lot of Greeks own a lot of restaurants, because that was the ideal back in the day. Growing up in my house, we always speak Greek, even to the point where my family literally cut the cable, American cable, and we have Greek TV at my house.
That's so funny.
So even in my house here in college, I have Greek TV.
Oh, wow.
Of course I have Netflix and all that stuff, but the TV, the news I watch is in Greece. And so when people talk about current events here, I literally don't know unless it's something major most of the time. But what about your name? Tell us a little bit about your name and how you got that.
Okay, so my name's Iliana, but I go by Illy just because it's a little easier to pronounce, and my name, in my opinion, is really pretty in Spanish, not in English. So I go by a nickname, but how I got that name was my mom heard it randomly in her office at her job and was just like, I love that name. And I was like, so there's no actual special meaning? And she's like, no, I just heard it at my job. And I was like, okay. And then my middle name, my sisters picked that out. But what's funny is that they randomly picked it out because at the time they were into princesses. And my middle name is Ariel. But for people that don't know, that's a Hispanic boy name. So I have a boy name as my middle name. And then my last name is Reyes, but Reyes in Spanish, and that's kings in English. So I think that's really cool. I love my last name. So tell us about your name.
So my name being Tatiana is not actually a Greek name, but in Greece we have a tradition where we get named after our grandparents. So for example, when I have kids one day, their kids are going to be named after me, and so forth. Or when I have kids one day, I'll name them after my mom. So my mom's name is Maria. So if I have a daughter, maybe I'll name her Maria. Or if I have a son, I'll name him Mario. And it's a whole thing in Greece. We have this thing called name days in our religion, which is really hard to explain. But basically every day of the year, there's a saint that we celebrate. So there's one for pretty much every name. There's Saint Tatiana, there's Saint Nicholas, there's everything. So basically you just do a celebration on that day, and basically when you get baptized into the Greek church, you get baptized and basically named after a saint.
Yeah.
It's a whole complicated thing.
No, okay, so in Catholicism, we have the exact same thing, but when you're confirmed into the Catholic faith. So in the Catholic Church, my name is Saint Maria Goretti. So that's really cool. I didn't know that about your culture.
It's because Greeks are Greek Orthodox, right? That's the major religion in Greece. And Orthodox and Catholics are literally, they used to be one church.
Yeah.
I think many, many years ago. But for some small differences, they separated. For instance, we don't celebrate Easter the same time everyone else does in the U.S. We celebrate it a week late, a week early. So we basically get all of y'all's broken Easter bunnies.
Wait,
Thanks a lot for that. Thanks a lot for that. So yeah.
Okay, well, I think we could both agree that like just our culture being in Sam Houston is also really cool to just witness because like we are a part of that, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about our nationality and like what that means going to Sam Houston State. And so, yeah, I'll introduce myself first. So my name's Eliana, but I go by Illy, and my family's from Mexico. My mom was born in the States, but her parents are from Mexico, or they were born in Mexico. And my dad was born in Mexico and immigrated from Mexico, San Luis specifically, to Texas with his family. And then they met in high school. So what about you?
So my name is Tatiana. I am Greek American. My mom was born in the U.S. My dad was born in Greece. My grandparents, which is like my mom's parents, migrated from Greece way back in the day because they wanted to achieve the American dream. My name Tatiana also comes from my grandmother because we have a tradition of naming our kids after our grandparents. So tell me, what's your favorite thing about being Mexican?
So my favorite thing is honestly the stereotype that we're hard workers. I feel like that's something that comes with being Mexican is just always have a drive and passion to just do everything and anything we can get done. Along with that is probably the food because we have probably the best food, especially like being in Texas. I get to experience that every now and then because we're so close to the border. And if you think Tex-Mex is Mexican, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm sorry. But it's just honestly our food. Like for me, my favorite drink is jarritos, and then favorite food is street tacos. The dirtier, the better. And dessert is sopapillas. What about you? What's your favorite thing about being Greek?
One of my favorite things about being Greek is like our culture. I feel like a lot of our culture is just very prominent everywhere, like philosophy, the reason why we have mathematics, even like our letters, like English letters are very similar to Greek letters, and Greek letters are pretty much like the sorority and the fraternity letters. Like that's actually the language I speak and write. One of my favorite things though when I'm over there is just getting to be with my culture, being able to go out and do things as well as the food. One thing that I feel like Mexicans and Greeks have in common, we do have like really good sodas. Like I feel like Coca-Cola in the U.S. tastes completely different than it does like in Mexico or in Greece. And I've heard that it's because supposedly it's made out of real sugar or something like that. But my favorite food is a gyro. Some people call it gyro, but it's not. It's a gyro. And it's one of my favorite things to eat. It's like street food. It's kind of like a burrito or a taco.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever tried one, and that's pretty much like the best way that I can describe it. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite dessert?
A favorite dessert? Okay, so I like baklava, which they say is Turkish, but I don't think it is. What about you?
So earlier I said that sopapillas are my favorite dessert, but if it wasn't sopapillas, I don't really know. Oh my gosh, I don't know. But I actually was going to say something about baklava. I've had it, and it was that a long time ago. I did a dance that was like Aladdin themed, and my teacher surprised us with baklava. I don't remember liking it, but maybe I had a bad version of it. But anyways, so let's talk about like our culture being at Sam Houston. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, the one thing I will say is that I do appreciate being a college student. Because I feel like the thing is when you're in college, that's one time in your life where you have an opportunity to connect with people across many cultures. I mean, you have international students, you have students that are like bicultural that were born and raised in the US. So I think it's a very beautiful experience being in a classroom and getting to hear about others' cultures. And cultures isn't necessarily just being out of the country. It's even hearing about the way somebody else lives in another part of the US, or somebody's background growing up in a particular area in Texas or something like that. What about you?
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Like, especially living in Texas, I've experienced so many other things, and like, or even just other Mexicans that have experienced other Mexican culture, and it's awesome. Like, I love, like you said, being able to experience other cultures, and college is the best place for that because like, you have people around like. I have international students in some of my classes, and like I get to learn about their culture and about what they grew up versus what I grew up in. And being Mexican at Sam Houston, I feel like it's just awesome to see like how our culture has like created the school. Like me personally, I have 3 other cousins that go to the school, so I get just like that Mexican culture feel. But Anyways, I'm so glad that we talked about this today.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Getting to share our cultures.
Slay.
Culturally speaking.